Tracy, I think the meeting is on mute.
You were right, Rob.
Good
Yeah.
evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 8th board meeting. We have a guest here that's also here in partnership with Rob. This is Alex Savage. He works with Rob and his law firm, and he'll be helping us through some items to this evening. Just quickly, if everybody could just go around the room and let Alex know your first name. You start for me, Karen? Karen Walter?
I have Tapa.
Bill.
Welcome, Courtney Hennigan.
Tracy Barrier.
I'm Dan. You're Ben?
Yeah.
And I'm Carrie.
Great. So welcome, Alex.
Hey,
Welcome to our
Everybody go easy on him.
He said go easy on him.
We will. You guys are the best board ever. So, the first thing on the item is a resolution ratifying and amending prior adopted policy standards and procedures. So, Tracy, do you need to speak to any of these items?
So I'm just gonna run through really quickly what is actually the sections in this. Get this off here. The sections in this resolution, so you know exactly what you're voting on. The first section is to amend two policies, which were included and noted in the packet. The whistleblower policy was just updating the, it used to be a hotline, now it's an online portal for the Attorney General's office for reporting, and under the Whistleblower Act. So that was updated, and then the monitoring policy was also updated by committee, to change the frequency and then update some of Ada's information and take CETA out of that policy and all that stuff. So, that's section number one, is making those amendments to those policies that have been through committee. Section number two is, reaffirming and adopting all of the other policies, which also went through committee without any recommended changes. Section three is to appoint members to committees. I filled these out as the committees exist now. We do have the chair of the audit committee is currently vacant. So we actually need one more person on the audit committee, and we need a chair for that committee. If there are any, we are gonna have a new board member coming, into, I'm sorry, Glenn, do you remember his name?
Mayor, the night we know, yeah.
The mayor sent us everybody is getting reappointed, and they're appointing a gentleman from MedEd to the vacancy as the member of industry, since our other, well, I'm sure he's great. Some other things didn't work out, and the mayor thought this gentleman would be good, so he will also be appointed to that vacancy, and we can maybe see if he wants to be on the audit committee.
Cool.
So, maybe we can pass these, leaving that vacant for now, and then we can revisit the audit committee appointments in February. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Section four is appointing officers. Again, I just filled in the current officers for this. I don't know if we'd like to make any changes here at this moment. Great. The chair of the board is actually appointed by city council. As I understand it, they will continue to appoint Glenn as chair, but we are responsible for vice chair and secretary. Section five basically appoints me as the interim executive director for various roles, including the contracting officer and designated representative for Paris reporting. And so all of that is wrapped into this one annual resolution.
I know that we received, take a look at these, the governance committee met. Does anybody have any additional questions, comments, concerns about our policies? If not, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the policies as amended.
I'll move it.
Thank you. I know, Karen. Does this have to be a roll call, Tracy?
I would like to do a roll call.
Okay, great, please.
Chair Weber McLeod,
Yes.
Mr. Andre,
Yes.
the mayor is excused. Mr. Cuddy,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford? Yes. Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Hennigan?
Yes.
The next thing on our agenda is our 2026 meeting schedule and also some information about our fiduciary forms. These are being presented for board information only. Tracy, do you want to review the schedule?
Sure. I don't know why I pulled that all the way up. That's silly.
Oh, no.
Pages of. Schedule page 9. So I basically just filled in the regular board meeting and committee schedule based on when things happen throughout the year, assuming that we would stick with the third Wednesday of the month, and these are those dates. If we need to change something as we go, we can, and, you know, the location could change if we decide to go to clients. We can make those adjustments as we need to, but as of right now, assuming these are gonna be our board meetings, the finance committee already set their meetings for the year, and then the audit committee and governance committee, governance committee met tonight before the meeting, but I set these meetings for the audit and governance committee tentatively based on when things need to happen in the year. Again, we can change these if needed, but this is, I think, a good tentative timeline. And then the fiduciary form, I meant to print and make everybody sign, but then I didn't, so I'll bring these to next month's meeting, and we'll sign these next month, but you will need them for the 2026
Isn't that the
year.
one, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Isn't that the one we just received in the mail?
Nope, that's, you would have gotten something from the city of Auburn for the financial disclosures. This is a separate form about conflict of interest and fiduciary duty, but I will print them and bring them to the next meeting and have everybody sign them there. Or if you wanted to be extra special, you could print it and bring it with you, but, I'll print them. But this is just something we have to sign on an annual basis.
I should have indicated at the beginning of our meeting that this section of the meeting is designated as our annual meeting. So the only other thing that I would like to present, Tracy, if you have something else, please feel free to come back on, is that you probably noticed that usually write the love letter, every month this year I did our year in review. And I presented information to you, Tracy and I talked about this in terms of what I identified as our successes, challenges, challenges and emerging opportunities. You all had an opportunity to take a look at that. One of the things I'd like to offer for our consideration is that if we get to a place of agreement, I'd like to give it another month so you can look at it. I suggested to Tracy that we might want to share that with Robert Hardy as an update so that we can notify the public that we have been about the business of Ada, but I don't want to do that until you all have another chance to take a look at it through this context. And if we agree at our February meeting that that's something we would do, then I'll just have Tracy reformat it and issue it to him so that he can use it as a reference point. Okay. But I would just say overall, I don't need to review that in detail. I was really pleased with the progress we made. You also know that I'm always about looking at things holistically. So I did want to just identify our successes. I think it's really important for us to have heightened awareness about challenges as well as emerging opportunities. And this year, we have an opportunity to fix the things we want to improve on and then to strategically take advantage of those emerging opportunities. So again, I'm inviting you to take a look at it through the lens of that I'd like to release it to Robert Harding, who covers the IDA, as just a piece of public information and a way for us to be transparent about what we are. Okay. If there's anything else to come before the annual meeting, Tracy? All right, so then I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that.
Thank you, Dan.
Second.
Thank you, Courtney. Do we need to do this as a roll call, Tracy?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. So now I am opening the regular meeting, and we'll do the welcome and the roll call. I've already said hello. Alec knows who he's in the room with now, so Tracy, let's just do this for protocol.
So roll call, Chair Weber McLeod.
Here.
Mr. Andre.
Present.
Counselor Cuddy.
Here.
Ms. Crawford. Here. Mayor Giantino is excused. Ms. Hennigan.
Here.
Mr. Lovell.
Here.
Ms. Walter.
Here. Thank you very much. And then the first thing on our regular meeting agenda is our unfinished business. I'm gonna turn the view over to Tracy for this purpose.
Do we need to do the minutes? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, yes, would be helpful, right? So you all received the minutes in your packet. Listen, that was like a whole section ahead. And I know you've had an opportunity to review them. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, revisions to the minutes from our December meeting? If no, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented in the packet.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Cuddy, a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Andre. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Keep it going. Now we're at unfinished business, and I'll turn the meeting over to Tracy.
Okay, so, we're moving unfinished business up, as a few people have to leave a little bit early tonight. The main portion of this is the UTEP adoption resolution, which we've kind of run out of time on the last couple of meetings. So this is a resolution to adopt the new UTEP and housing supplement. The one clarification that it appears may have gotten lost in translation is in terms of reporting for housing projects, all housing projects will still get reported in Paris. However, the job creation for those, unless there's a specific direct job creation from the developer for, say, maintenance staff or management staff, the job creation would be based only on those direct jobs. So sometimes that job creation would be 0, and we would be reporting on 0 jobs, but we would still be reporting on the project as a whole in Paris. So the state will still be aware of the project, what benefits it's getting. It's not that it won't get reported, there just wouldn't be job creation reported within that, unless there's, again, those direct jobs. So that's just one clarification I wanted to make because it was a question that came up recently. But we've talked about this a number of times, so just if there's any questions, we can address them, and otherwise we can move forward to the resolution.
We all clear about the UTEP changes that we made? All right, Tracy, you want to move forward with the resolution?
Yeah, so you just need a motion and a second.
I'll move that again.
A second?
And I'll second that again.
Thank you, Courtney. Courtney's all over tonight. Thank you. All right, so many of us, right?
And thank you, Tracy, for giving me a refresh.
We got you, girl. This is have to be a roll call.
Yes, please.
So I am going to ask for a roll call vote on the adoption of our UTEP.
Chair Whipper McLeod.
Aye.
Mr. Andre.
Aye.
Mayor is excused. Mr. Lovell.
Aye.
Ms. Crawford. Aye. Ms. Walter.
Aye.
Mr. Cuddy.
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan.
Aye.
Whew, we did it, guys.
I love that we do our due diligence, right? And the next thing on this unfinished business is our technical services proposal. Please, Tracy.
Yes, so as you recall, we did issue a RFP for technical services. I will admit I haven't been able to review all of them in depth, in terms of actually reviewing the deliverables and like the sample deliverables. So at this time, I did start reviewing a number of them. How many did you receive? We received 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We received 9 responses. I have reviewed, I think, about 6 of them so far. At this point, my recommendation based on the reviews, and so what I'm going to do is, yes, I've reviewed 6 of the 9 so far. So what I'm going to do is make recommendations for the 6 that I reviewed, and then bring back the other 3 next month and notify them next month, or let them know that we're going to come back to it next month, just because I've been limited capacity lately. But I did review so BJH Advisors. They did fully submit, although there is one form that was missing a signature. I think it was just an oversight. They provided overviews of past projects, but not actual deliverables. My recommendation, I do think that they would be qualified under all three, types of projects, but I would feel more comfortable reviewing a deliverable before that, so I'd like to reach out to them and ask for examples. Camoin Associates, provided everything in full, including sample deliverables. I would recommend qualifying them under all three services. I've seen their work, they're very good. DK Statistical Consulting, they're out of Houston, Texas. They submitted only overviews. I did not feel that the examples that they provided were well aligned with what we are asking for. And since there were no examples, I would say, or there weren't actual examples provided, just the overviews, I actually would recommend not qualifying them under any categories. I can ask them for examples. If they provide examples that make it clear of their capabilities, potentially they could be qualified under economic impact analysis and fiscal impact analysis. I did not get the sense that they had the qualifications or the experience for the test of reasonableness. But I'd like to go back to them and ask for those examples. eConsult Solutions, ESI, is out of Philadelphia. They submitted everything. Their examples looked good. I would suggest qualifying them for all three services. Harrison Studio, again, provided just overviews, not actual examples. They highlight underwriting experience, which is a little bit different from a test of reasonableness. Similar, very similar, but a little bit different. So I would want to see an example of what they would say. I would want to see that deliverable to make sure it's aligned with what we're asking for. I do think that they would be qualified for economic impact analysis and fiscal impact analysis, so I'd like to go back to them and ask for those samples. MRB Group did provide everything requested. Having done these, full disclosure, I obviously work for MRB Group. I'm familiar with their work. I do think that they would be qualified for all services, but know that just for putting them on the list, not necessarily recommending them over everybody else or anybody else. So at this point, I would say I would recommend DJH, Camoin, Camoin, eConsult, and MRB Group to be qualified under all three categories. And the others I've mentioned, I'd like to get actual samples from them before making a recommendation, and then I'll bring recommendations on the other three, which were Research Associates, Stores Associates, and Urbanomics next month.
Any questions for Tracy about what we've gathered up so far? I'd just like to remind the board that we're collecting this pool of potential consultants for clients that have projects that we need some of their official information for. We're not engaging them, we're contracting with them. But we wanted to have a qualified pool of people that we believe could deliver the service that our prospective project clients would need. And so Tracy has gathered that information. Good at that question, Tracy?
Yep, so the question just is, do you want to wait and do all of the qualifications at the same time next month, or do you want to I don't think we have any proposals that would need this within the next month. So you can either qualify those three or go qualifying those three now, and then we can do the rest next month, or we could just wait on everything until next month.
Do you have a preference? Or you wouldn't have a preference?
I think just waiting
Wait for all
until
of
next month, that way you don't have to do something twice.
My instinct was that too, but I didn't want to design.
Yeah, and by then I'll be able to give you kind of like full overviews of all the firms and their fees and all of that stuff. So I'll just notify everybody that we're going to continue reviewing over the next month, and then I'll ask for those samples from the other ones.
Thank you, Tracy. The next item on the agenda is the report of the governance committee, and part of what we'll be looking at within the packet was just the feedback on our board self-evaluation.
So I'll start off with that. As the chair mentioned, we met prior to this meeting to go over the the self-evaluation forms. And, we noted that the forms, showed improvement. The only thing that kind of stuck out to us is that there, was less participation in the form. So we believe there might be, 2 or 3 board members that have yet to fill that out. But we did note that, it was, all in all, is more positive, and that the board is moving in the right direction. There was, significantly less, somewhat disagrees. In fact, there's no somewhat disagrees on this one, and, it was just good to see some progress, from the 2024 to the 2025 evaluation. My committee members, our committee members that are on, the fellow committee members, Dan and Bill were also at the meeting. Is there anything you'd like to add to the overview?
Just pleased that overall, I think that our evaluation is better, and certainly better than it was last year, but at the same time, as Terry said, no disagrees or somewhat disagrees. It looks like we've are happy with the direction we're going.
No, as the committee agreed, there were 2 people who didn't participate. If those folks wanted to participate in the next week, I will include that in the compiled results that I sent to the state.
Thank you very much. And I would just say that I believe that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And so that I'm glad that we have the level of participation we do. And I think even though we don't have somewhat disagrees, I also think that somewhat agrees heighten my awareness as the chair of ways that we can fine tune and tweak some things. So I, again, know that, and also for me personally, to all of you, I'm always open to your questions, comments, concerns, respectful criticism about my leadership style, and don't ever allow me to be a hindrance to us doing this work, okay? So thank you very much. These things are quite helpful to us as a board in conducting the business of ADA. The next thing on the agenda is to look at the administrative services contract. And of course, it was in the packet. It's under a business called Red Clover Consulting LLC, which would be Tracy.
Stephanie.
What I'd like to do would be to request that is Rob on the call, Tracy?
Yes.
That we go into executive session to discuss this contract.
I'll move that.
Can I get a second?
Okay.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll go into executive session. It's the 2026 Administrative Services Contract. Tracy, we had a good conversation and went through that. Is there anything else that you want to add before I? Are you good? We go?
I did want to mention, I don't know if Rob mentioned, but we are going to add some additional insurance for automobile coverage into the terms and conditions. And not knowing what you're calling question on, I would just say I'm really excited to continue working with you. This is what I want to be doing. So I hope that your motion isn't to, tell me to go away.
No. So, thank you, Tracy.
Wow, you were genuinely worried.
Such is the life of a consultant, I'll tell you. I'm waiting to hear from client right now. So I would entertain a motion to accept the administrative services contract presented to us from Red Clover. Did I get it right, Tracy?
I'll motion.
Does someone make the motion?
She did.
Okay.
I seconded it already.
Thank you, second. Is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Welcome to the hood, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Red Clover.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Make sure I'm doing my duties. What was the motion and second to come out of executive session?
The motion.
It's me and
Heather.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We appreciate your continued interest.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, we can tell. So Tracy, the next item on is just to give us information about the New York State EDC conference coming up in February.
Yes. So there is a conference. This is an annual conference in Albany. It's February, what did I say? February 10th and 11th. The fee for registration is $295 per person, and then there would be any, like, hotel and mileage costs, related to that. The conference is chock full of informational sessions. This is far more of an informational conference than a networking conference. So I just wanted to put this on the table and see if anyone was planning to go. I am planning to go. But if anybody wanted to go, we would want to make that, motion tonight to approve the registration fees and travel costs.
So Tracy, are you asking us to identify who wants to go, or just to approve that if someone wants to go, that we would cover, Ada would cover the cost?
Both?
Okay.
Because, like, this is going to sell out, like, tomorrow, probably.
So is anyone here interested in attending the conference with Tracy?
Full disclosure, I did use your membership to sign up.
Well, Well, right, no. Are we good? Can you give people 24 hours straight?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Tracy, can we give people 24 hours to get in touch with you?
Yes.
So can you still want us to?
We want to say, like, approve up to two
Two
people.
people, yeah, that sounds good.
For registration and travel.
So I would entertain a motion to approve up to two of our colleagues to attend the New York State UDC conference with Tracy, meaning that we would cover the expenses of their participation in the conference.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Courtney. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Great, thank you very much. We did our executive session. The next thing is our board education session, and what we're going to do with that is to do a review of our 2025 strategic framework.
Wow, we are moving right through.
This is no jinx it.
Sorry. So as mentioned, I did just want to, what page is this on? 91. So glad I did table of contents. I thought now would be a nice time to review the 2025 strategic framework, where we stand in that framework, and what we want to be thinking about moving forward. I did this summary, because I thought it was easier to look at than the full table. But basically, I just outlined where we are within each strategic priority and strategy therein. You know, there's a few that we haven't really made any progress on. There's some that we have made progress. Particularly, I found that we were making progress around kind of introducing ADA to different groups, attending conferences, like our communication and our interaction with prior clients. All of that, we've made a lot of progress just in those relationships, on the relationship side. The website still needs a lot of work. And we still have a lot of we really haven't been able to dig into the marketing side. That's the side of the framework that has been a little has seen less progress. So hopefully we're able to read through this, but I did put in each section under each strategy the focus for 2026, and how we can try to move the strategic framework forward for next year. I don't think we need to make a lot of changes to the framework. I think it's still relevant. But if you look at it and you see something that you want to change or add, definitely let us know or let me know. But please do read through this, and we'll try to keep focusing on this framework throughout the year as we're able to. I don't feel like anybody feel like I need to go through all of the priorities and strategies. But yeah, so a lot of it is, you know, a lot of the focus for 2026 is honing in on the marketing component, on continuing relationship building, potentially looking at, I mentioned to the chair, maybe looking at partnering with some community partners like the Chamber around bringing back the Economic Development Forecast event in some way, shape, or form, and supporting that or facilitating that in some way, because it's been a while since the community has really had an economic development focused event of that nature. So that would be fun to do.
Yeah, that's great.
So maybe it would look different than a luncheon, but because there's so many of them. But So really thinking about how we can continue getting the word out and continue bringing in pipeline. That's really what it comes down to. Doing some more proactive stuff. We need to identify our 3 target industries. We never got to that this year. So I think that's one thing in the next couple of months we should bring to the board. Education component is really talking about some target industries. Questions, comments?
Thank you, Tracy. And one of the things, Tracy, might be helpful is that this was done in a narrative format, but if you want to translate the 2026 action into our annual work plan for this year, I think that would be great. It'd be visually easier, at least for me to do it, but it also helps us keep track of what we need to do. Right. We're now heading into the section of our agenda that focuses on bills. Tracy had to leave early, so that we'll have a treasurer's report. Tracy, you're gonna handle that for us?
I am. And so in terms of bills, I did want to go over a couple of things. These are your pretty typical standard stuff. We do have our EDC membership is due, for the new year, so that is $1,000. We kind of talked about this before, but somehow it never happened. I was able to reacquire auburnida.com and redirect it to our website.
Oh,
So
great.
now we have auburnida.org, auburnida.com, and I got a good deal for the first year.
Yeah.
$12.19. So, I just paid that by EFT, our checking account, through GoDaddy. We did disperse a number of pilots on January 8th, because one of them needed to get out the door for the 30-day window, so there's a listing of those. And just really quickly on the pilot disbursement report, we had 2 pilots that did not come in on time. I did issue late fee invoices. I got a call from Caravel. Their corporate headquarters had mailed a check, but when they updated our address, they put in 2 South Street. So there's a check that went somewhere. And so I told them that if they issued a new payment, corrected the address, issued a new payment immediately, that we would get rid of the late fee, because I believe that they sent it. It just didn't get to us. And so as long as it comes in the next few days, because they mailed it out Monday, it should get here in the next couple of days. As long as it doesn't drag coming in, I'm just gonna void that late fee. And then I did get a response when I sent the late fee to seminary. They did say that they were gonna take care of it. That one, no excuses. There was an email address that was wrong, but I've got it, so.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take care of that, very soon. So, but those are the only 2 that haven't come in, and they're getting taken care of, and everything else has come in and been dispersed. So we're almost through this round of pilots. So that's all I have on the bills.
That we accept the bills. Okay.
You make a motion down there, Dan?
Yeah. Motion to pay the bills.
Counselor Teddy, you second that?
I'll second it, yeah.
You remember, I'm back for a lot of HVAC noise, okay? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Rest on, Tracy.
Okay, and then so in terms of the finance committee and the treasurer's report, the committee did review the preliminary year-end financials. These are still, the audit is scheduled for February, a week in February, so we'll get deeper into it, but they should be substantially correct for year-end. There was one admin fee I hadn't added in yet, but I did add it for this version that you got. So this should be pretty close to our year-end financials. So we had about $45,000 worth of fees, but we also had $10,000. So heading the right direction for the admin fees, but Still not quite breaking even. I'm very hopeful for next year. I think we'll be in a good place. But we shall see. And then, but yeah, so we basically just talked through, how this was very close or anticipated year end. We have kind of started the audit process. The official audit will happen in February, as I said, but they did provide this letter that was in the packet about our responsibilities and their responsibilities for the audit process. I've also been working through a list of items that they've requested that some of it I was able to provide in advance, some of it I need to provide as things progress. I did get a Bluefield Manor, we have to report on their ending bond amount each year. I did get that statement, so we have that, and so mostly what I'll have to provide to them next month is anything they request for testing, and then kind of what's happened in the interim since year end. So that is well underway. Karen, is there anything else that you should mention from the Finance Committee meeting?
Well, you did it all.
Great. That's it.
That's the same company we used last several years.
Yep. So I believe Elaine Buffington has either officially or nearly officially retired, but this is the company that bought her firm and that we've been working with.
Anything else? We need to vote to approve the financial report. Please, take a motion.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Dan. Second.
Yes, I am.
Councilman?
Bill gave me permission to second it.
Very good. You gave me the head nod. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Any board updates? I just have a question, and if this is appropriate, can you give us just quickly a status report on the line item in the county budget and whether or not your team of experts have begun to do the work that money gave you?
That's an interesting question. So the budget, the county's budget did include $150,000 for county economic development. A resolution was put onto was submitted for the county's Planning and Public Works Committee to dedicate the funds, $70,000 of that, $150,000 for a strategy and to approve releasing an RFP. It passed the Planning and Public Works Committee, went to Ways and Means, and last night Ways and Means tabled it because they would like to see the draft of the RFP before they approve that resolution. There's a lot of discussion about it, some concerns about what guarantee is it that the strategy will lead to implementation of the strategy and how the partners are being engaged in that process. So we're going to try to address those in the RFP and hopefully put it back through the process next month to start moving that forward. The countywide housing plan was approved by Ways and Means, so we'll be going to the full legislature next week. So that will hopefully continue moving. As I understand it, there doesn't seem to be much concern about that. They're ready to move that forward, so that should be going underway. But the economic development strategy has another step we want to do, or they would like us to do before they approve.
Any other board members have anything to bring before us this evening? Alex, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I hope it was educational for you, and you're welcome anytime. In partnership with Rob. If there's, go ahead, Tracy.
Restaurant Week is starting on Friday. Go to the Chamber's website, check out the deals.
Okay, that's good.
It's gonna be great. So go out to eat. Starts Friday. It's like Friday to Sunday or something like that. It's like a 9-day.
Do you remember some of the places, Tracy? I know Prison City is one.
Yeah, Prison City usually does it.
On Saturday night, you get to choose between when they come out, Terry's band or my band, or both playing.
Cafe is on there.
Wait.
Unfortunately,
108 Cafe is on there.
No, it's like.
At long last, A.T. Wally's, Auburn Bagel Company, Balloons, Cafe 108, Cameron's, Dimitri's Pizza, Costa Grande, Mexican Restaurant,
Weird.
Moro's Table, Mesa Grande, 1833 Kitchen and Bar down in Aurora, Prison City, Pablo's Refinery, Roast and Toast, Parker's, Costa's, New Hope Mills, and Angelo's.
Nice.
Lots of choices.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
Sorry, just couldn't let that go.
You're a great advocate for this.
When, when,
Is there, what, yeah,
I sent Alec with documents for you to sign.
yeah.
I
I think Karen and I may have taken care of that.
No,
Oh, you got another one? There's like these.
yeah, there's more just to terminate out a project that's long over with VG Reynolds.
Okay. Do they need to be notarized, or do they just need my signature?
They need to be notarized.
Karen's here in a notary, so you want her to do it?
That would be fantastic, thank you.
All right, hey, you got it, button it up, you know?
I was like,
I'll entertain a motion for adjournment,
So moved.
a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I'll see y'all next
All
month.
right,
Thank you.
Are you really?
Thank you.
35 minutes. I'm in a couple.